Alright, hey guys, today's video is all about spring decisions and all the decisions farmers have to make. Also, how COVID is affecting farmers, at least in my neck of the woods. Let's get to the video. Hey guys, before we get into the video, make sure you go down and hit that subscribe button to show me your guys' support. Also, don't forget to hit that like button or the dislike button, whether you like the video or not. And also, don't forget to go check out the 100 subscriber video to make sure you guys leave a comment down on the video if you're the first 100, so that you can get your own video dedicated to you. And I will also message you privately on whether it be Instagram, Twitter, or through YouTube about the day that your video will go live and your questions. So don't forget to go check that out. Now let's get to the video. Alright, hey guys, as stated in the intro of the video, we are going to be talking about the decisions the farmers have to make in order to be prepared for planting. This is not going to be about planting, this is going to be preparing for planting. So, first thing that we're going to talk about though is the COVID situation and how it is affecting farmers right now. So there's a few things that it is affecting. One of those things being the market. It is driving the market down for crops that we had harvested last year. Although last year's harvest wasn't that great, it still affected the farmers. The prices are really low. It's not good for us. Additionally, it also makes it extremely hard to purchase like equipment and fuel because, well, not fuel. Fuel's really low right now, as a matter of fact. The bad part is that things are going up in cost, like parts, replacement parts, things like that. They're all going up. So let me know down in the comments below real quick about how you guys are doing. If you're a large farm, I know there's a few viewers that are farmers. So if you are a farmer, let me know down in the comments below how you're doing, how everything's holding up, and how is COVID affecting you. All right, now that we are done talking about COVID, I want to talk about the normal standard decisions farmers have to make in order to start their year off. One of these decisions is made in the fall, which is putting down solid fertilizer. This is so that the pH level up here is acidic and down here is basic. And essentially what you have is if it's too acidic, crops won't grow. If it's too basic, crops won't grow. One of the basic decisions that needs to be made is actually done in the fall, at least in my case. We have to decide whether or not and what types of NPK we're going to be putting down in terms of solid fertilizer, nitrogen being injected, knifed, whatever. And that is all done in the fall so that it is ready for the spring next year. And I will explain that in another video if it is needed. It's just that gets into really technical stuff, and if you want to see that, let me know. If not, also let me know. As you may notice that every day, or at least most of the days, that you'll see me wearing a Bex hat. No, we are not sponsored by Bex. Bex is a seed company, as well as Pioneer, AgriGold, and a few others that I'm not currently thinking of. I know there's another one that I'm missing. Those guys are all seed companies. The other thing is we have to select how much seed to buy. Seed is not cheap. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Seed is extremely expensive. And if you make a wrong decision, yeah, sometimes you can return it, but you don't wanna run that risk of damaging the bag and having to not be able to return it. There is a pallet of seed corn over there between Pioneer and AgriGold, and they both offer their own traits, and each field is different. Each one has its own problems, and that's what we are looking for. That's what we look for in traits of corn, and that's what we look for in traits of soybeans, is to make sure that we can do things to the field that when we need to. Like if there's a field that has a lot of problems with weeds, we will buy a soybean or a corn that can resist a certain type of chemical. Okay, so now, the other thing that you guys need to know is that we do not have sprayers. We do not have any kind of big machinery to spray a massive amount of acreage in one shot. We do not have those big A's, the big four-wheel sprayers that it looks like you can drive a car under, and you can. Don't do it. Seriously, don't do it. It's extremely dangerous. And we have those smaller sprayers, that 3-point sprayers. We have pull-behind sprayers that'll do things like miss or hit spots that were missed by co-op. Now, one of the things that we do is we work with co-op to make sure that our fields get sprayed, and that is the other aspect of pre-planting. Making sure that the field is sprayed with the right chemicals at the right time, so when we plant, the crop is ready to accept those chemicals, if they are supposed to accept those chemicals, and that the chemicals that aren't supposed to be accepted by the crop are out of the ground. Typically 2,4-D will do that. 2,4-D is a chemical that does not kill grass, but it kills the weeds in grass. So you'll see a lot of professional companies use this chemical because it won't kill your lawn. It will kill things like creeping Charlie, which is a little like clover weed that you see in your grass sometimes. It's a pain in the butt to kill. 2,4-D will take that out though. And so, but it takes 2 weeks before the 2,4-D is out of the soil. That is what we wait for. So that is why it is extremely important that we keep in contact with co-ops so we know when the fields are being sprayed and so that they know what to put down and when to put it down so that we can all work together to make sure that the fields are planted properly. All right, the other aspect that we need to keep in mind is the fact of what time of year it is. So right now it is about the end of April, beginning of May. Typically this is about when farmers want to start planting. Now the reason that you want to do that is because you aren't going to get frost. See, when corn starts emerging out of the ground, you get a frost and it will kill it. And so when you start getting towards the end of April, middle or beginning of May, maybe even middle of it, May, you get the less likely, every day less likely of a chance of getting a frost and killing out your crops. Now, this is extremely important because, like I said earlier in the video, seed is extremely expensive, and if you lose it, you have to replant. You don't have a choice. Sometimes insurance companies will cover it, but it's still gonna cause problems later down the road. And it's a lot easier to plant once than it is twice, especially when conditions for planting can be extremely difficult to get. Like right now we are waiting. We started planting yesterday or the day before, and it was perfect. We had perfect conditions. The soil was 51 degrees and we just went on. We went crazy after a few breakdowns. We went crazy with planting. We are now waiting 2 more days, 3 more days, maybe even another week because we got 3/4 of an inch of rain. You cannot plant in that. That is impossible to plant in. Ground temp. So the ground is optimally for planting, or it's like optimized for planting right around 51 degrees Fahrenheit, around 52 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a good temp. That's like a baseline temp that you want when you start planting. Now that's 10 degrees, yeah, that's 10 degrees Celsius for my international viewers. Now the reason that we wait for this temperature is because when it's too low, the plants will not grow, they will not germinate, they will not start peeking out of the soil, and a lot of the times they will be killed or stunted, and you won't get that great of a harvest out of them. Now when you get to that upper temperature, the seeds like to germinate, especially corn. Corn loves the heat. So if you get a warmer soil and you're only planting corn, you maybe have the ability to wait just a little bit longer to plant because you can get that higher temperature soil that you're looking for corn. Now for beans, they like the warmth, but they also like the mid-range as well, which is why we hit the baseline of about 50 degrees. And the other thing I want to talk about is the moisture level of the field. So this is what we are struggling with right now, is the moisture level of the field currently is way too wet. It will stick to the tractor, it will stick to the planter, it'll cause problems. You'll start rutting things up, you'll start compacting the soil, and additionally the seed won't go down properly and it won't get covered up. So what you're looking for right now is about there's not really a percentage on it, it's just the dirt needs to be very workable, but it won't stick to you. If it's sticking to your boots or you're sticking to your tractor, it's way too wet and it cannot go in the ground. The seed will not do well in extremely wet conditions because when the planter goes over that, that's a lot of weight. And if it's dry, the soil will take that weight. If it's not dry, the soil pushes in on the seed. And if you compress a seed, you can even do this in a pot at home. Compress the seed in dirt, pack it down as hard as you can, like push as hard as you can into a preferably ceramic cup, and just pack that thing down. Put another seed in another cup and just pour the dirt over it. The seed in the loose dirt cup is going to come up almost immediately, whereas the other one is going to come up, if it comes up, it'll come up in about a week later or 2 weeks later. That's what we're talking about. And that kind of emergence, which is referring to when the seed pops out of the soil and you can see the stem. That emergence is what you want with dry soil. With the loose soil in your cup, that is what I'm talking about. That way, the seed has more time for the sun and it has more time to start germinating. Anyway guys, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, don't forget to go down and show your support by subscribing, hitting that like button or the dislike button, whether you liked it or not. That way I know what I'm doing is good and that people like what I'm doing. Also, don't forget to leave a comment down below so that I know how you guys are doing, what you guys want to see. And also don't forget to go check out that 100 subscriber video so that way You guys can ask a question for me to answer, and I will let you guys know through social media or through YouTube when you guys will have your video dedicated to you. Also, don't forget to leave your links to your social media in that comment so that I can give you guys a shout out. So anyway guys, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.